My anchor, belief, is my God and my family. I'm an ambitious person with a lot of goals, with artistic views. I'm as straight as a pencil, as strong as a pencil, and as sharp as a pencil. I know I'm going to conquer the world and nothing will happen until November last year. I went for the general colonoscopy and lying in bed, bit dazed with an anesthetic. There's my doctor. Ron, we found a tumor. I looked at him, dazed up, and said, hey doc, what will be? And I realized an hour later this pencil looked just like it. What now? This is cancerous. Am I gonna die? What about my family? Where am I gonna be? Emotion set in. I look at my family and I want to cry. I don't know what to do. The 25th of December, Christmas Day, I walked into church and they handed me this anchor. The pastor said to me, or he preached and he says, God is your anchor. I looked at my wife, she looked at me, and the tears were running down her eyes. And I know everything's going to be fine. On the 27th of December, I went to Cape Town for a 10-day holiday. Forget about all the things that happened to me. I'm going to enjoy my life. So I did. On New Year's Eve, sitting on the patio, looking over Gordon's Bay, the sunset, sipping a glass of wine with my wife, and my wife looked at me and says, I want to tell you something. I prayed to God to give me a sign. And at that night, she dreamt, and God spoke through to her and he says, the culprit will be removed and the disease will disappear. That was not good enough for my wife. She wanted to know more. She prayed to God again and said to God, God, give me a sign. So in Gordons Bay is a bookshop called the Kenny Books. So every time we drove past, she was drawn to this shop and couldn't see anything. And then one day I drove past slowly, and there in front of the Kenny Books was an anchor. And she turned around to me and says, I know everything will be fine. Emotion set in, and I know God spoke to us. Going through Cape Town, and everywhere we went, there was an anchor. Lying in my bed, in front of me there's a Gordons Bay sign, an anchor. And I knew everything will be fine. On the 14th of January, I went for my operation. 5 days spent in hospital, 2 days in intensive care. I'm lying there. Am I going to be okay? What's going to happen? And then I heard it. I broke a wind. I'm alive! I'm going to be okay. And you know what? I just let rip. I didn't care about anybody else, because I know the operation was a success. I then went back home and evaluated my life. I looked at everything around me. Why must we wait for things to happen in life? Doesn't matter if it's finances, your family matters, business at work. Live for today and not for tomorrow. That pencil that broke, I'm just as sharp, but twice as sharp as before. I know God is my anchor, my wife's my anchor. The question I want to put forward to you guys, who is your anchor?